Good morning. Got my steaming cup of coffee. Good morning, sunshine. How about that? Never underestimate the power of a positive thought first thing in the morning. So how many of you clicked on this video because of the title? Because you thought, oh man, I wonder if they're talking about me. Ego. Ego is defined a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. Psychoanalysis, the part of the mind that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious and is responsible for reality testing and a sense of personal identity. And so you might think, well, Steve, who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Everybody on YouTube wants to know who you're talking about. I'm talking about me. And my ego. I saw a t-shirt the other day, kill your ego. And I told my wife I wanted like one for each day of the week. Because here's the thing. You know, some people get annoyed with me when I take down live feeds that I've done. And well, let's get into a story here. So this is how dangerous ego can be, right? When I was playing in bands, playing out gigs and everything, it was always funny. You know, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been doing that band thing for 20 years, right? And it was always interesting to see a new band, because every new band, and I went through this, every new band goes through this phase where you play a gig, and mind you, the thrash and death metal shows in Springfield, Missouri, it's not like we had thousands of people, right? You might get a couple hundred if you're lucky, if you're good, if you're opening up for someone bigger, right? And it was funny to see these bands, up and coming bands. It was fascinating to watch their egos kind of grow and grow and grow. Like, you know, they play their first gig, they're all shy and timid, you know, and humble, and then a year later, because they got to open up for Soulfly or somebody like that, you know, they're like, oh man, we're awesome, yeah, you know. and they start snubbing you, and meanwhile, the ego gets so big that they think, you know what, we're on the verge of getting signed, we're gonna go tour. So they do a small, like 1 or 2 week tour, and they get their butts handed to them, because they realize that while they might be rock stars in Springfield, go to a big city like Dallas or Oklahoma City or St. Louis, you're nothing. No one knows who you are, so they're only going to judge you by your music, not because they like you as a person, not because they're friends with you or they went to high school with you, because they don't know any of that. They don't know your backstory, and I think that's what a lot of that is you know, is you have a lot of friends that support your band because they like you as a person or whatever, you know. And every band goes through a reality check, and I went through that too, right? And so I'm really conscious about self-conscious about how, try not to do that in the YouTube universe, because face it, when you go live and you have 50 to 100, 150 people, that's kind of a good feeling. I mean, you got 150 people, 200 people. I've seen some live feeds where there was literally 1,000 people. That inflates the ego, I'm telling you. And so when the ego is inflated, you know, whether it's on stage of a sound stage or the stage of this platform here, you tend to lose your mind a little bit, right? And so I'll go back to my live feeds. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I said that. Or, well, why did I say that? Well, I didn't really mean that. Wow, the truth came out on that, you know? And because you're pumped up, you got this adrenaline going, oh, I'm live and people are paying attention to what I have to say. Wow. You know, and we all crave attention. I don't care if you're the most introverted, you know, recluse. Everyone craves attention. And that could become addicting, right? And so when I go back to some of my live feeds, you know, a lot of times after a live feed's done, I'll go watch it, you know, or I'll listen to it if I'm going down the road, and just like shake my head. I'm like, wow, I don't like myself a lot of times, because I see that young band guy 20 years ago that had to have a reality check, you know. You know, the reality is I might have 30 people in my live feeds, and 15 of them are troll accounts, 5 of them hate me, and the other 10 are people that genuinely are interested in what I have to say, which is fine. I don't go to bed at night wondering how I can get more subs or how I can, you know, make my channel bigger. I know the secret to that. I know the secret of making my channel grow. And it's to be a better YouTuber, a better content creator. And so in this ongoing quest to be a better person, you know, I deleted some live feeds and just like, you know, I don't like myself when I'm live. I don't like my ego that gets inflated, because an ego can be the most destructive force of happiness there is. And you know, think about the scene in Crossroads where Ralph Macchio goes against Steve Vai, you know, the guitar duel. You know, what was the Steve Vai's character? What was his weakness? Ego. Here's some young kid that wasn't famous, that outplayed him. The only thing that was killed was the ego. So now, the problem today is that people can't differentiate between pride and ego. And that line becomes grayer and grayer every day. Am I proud of some of the things I've done on YouTube? Yes. Am I not proud of some of the things I've done on YouTube? Yes. Just like in life, just like in music. And I want a bunch of kill your ego shirts, because I think that if you can kill your ego, become humble, and have genuine gratitude, it's a slow growth. But I think that if you're a YouTuber, your channel can grow that way. And I know that YouTube became toxic to me, not because of other YouTubers, but because of myself. It got me involved in things that I didn't want to be involved in. It got people texting my old phone number, you know, trying to get under my skin. It got people to hate me. It got people to make fun of me. But I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let YouTube go, right? And I had to go live. I have to go live. I have to go live. I have to go live because I'm bored and I need to tell you something. I need that attention. And all it was doing was distracting what I needed to be doing. I needed to be taking care of my business. I needed to be taking care of my family. And what was the one thing that made me go, you know what? This is toxic. It's ego. My ego was toxic to me, because when your ego is inflated, you become blind. And for what? For 30 people to watch me and go, that's really great, Steve. That's awesome. Is that worth killing relationships and business and your personal life? Is that worth that? To me, it wasn't. And so there's probably a few of you that clicked on this thinking that I was going to talk bad about another YouTuber or a set of YouTubers, and that's not the case. I was talking bad about myself. Kill my ego is what maybe I should title this. I don't know. We'll see what I decide. Being on a public forum, whether it be music, an author, YouTube, any kind of social media platform, that's the thing. The internet breeds ego, you know. A rock star used to be a rock star, but now a rock star is more than that because of the internet. You know, what kind of ego do we give people that are famous for no reason at all? Or for people that decide to talk about something and it went viral, right? What does that do? It inflates your ego. It's all right to be proud of yourself. It's all right to say, you know what, I feel pretty proud. But when that pride turns into ego and it becomes toxic, what is that doing to your life? And trust me, just like food, just like meth, just like heroin, ego can be very intoxicating and addictive. I know. I think there was one day I went live 5 times. Now, I'm not saying if you go live, you got an ego. I'm not saying that at all. But that day that I went live 5 times, what could have I been doing? I could have been doing something else to make me a better person for myself, you know? And there are a lot of live feeds I enjoy watching. You just got to be careful with that power, you know? You know, a lot of people are talking about the toxicity of YouTube, of YouTube trucking. And I talked to a guy at GATS, and he told me that, you know, he was really heavily into all the YouTube channels until everybody started going live. And this person, like, loved my live feed parody I did several years ago. And he goes, you notice that a lot of the negative stuff started getting really bad when live feeds occurred. And then Zello is kind of the icing on the cake, right? I've gotten in major arguments with people on Zello, you know. And of course, you know, there was that time that people thought I was being a snitch, and that wasn't the case, you know, and just all kinds of, just, you know, and I don't know, it just, it's funny to me. I look back, I'm like, 5 years from now, who's gonna care? I mean, how many of you are looking at YouTube videos that are 5 years old now? You might stumble across a gem that helped you with information or a good guitar song or something like that. But in the end, what we're all doing now, this video I'm doing now, will be forgotten about in 5 years. It'll be forgotten about next month. That's how the world rolls, And I don't know. If you have good live content, bless you. Awesome. Right? And there are people out there that are really putting out good content live. But the ego is a dangerous thing. It can make you lose sight of what you started to do in the beginning. Anyways, live and let live, people. Right? Live and let live. In the end, you may not be here tomorrow, and it will never matter. So, that being said, hope you got a good cup of coffee. And have a good day. Life is too short to worry about all the small stuff. Kill your ego. Kill my ego. See you.